Imagine a single day that changed the fate of the world's most populous nation for generations. In June of 1989, the Tiananmen Square crackdown stunned the globe. But what if that moment did more than silence protest? What if it rewired China's entire path and still shapes the lives of more than 1 billion people today? Let's rewind. Before Tiananmen, China was at a turning point. The Communist Party under Deng Xiaoping had launched economic reforms, opening up parts of the nation to private business and foreign capital. Special economic zones like Shenzhen flourished, drawing investment, technology, and hope for a brighter future. By the late 1980s, millions sensed a new era, one promising opportunity, but also demanding change. Yet frustration was rising. Economic growth surged, but political freedoms lagged far behind. Students and workers gathered in Beijing, demanding reform and a say in their future. The world remembers those peaceful demonstrations and the military's harsh response. But it's what came next that truly set China's course. The government's answer was not just to end a protest, it was a decisive shift. Economic progress could continue, but only if political control remained absolute. As political scientist Jean-Pierre Cabestan put it, for the Communist Party, Tiananmen closed the door to any truly meaningful political reform. After the crackdown, Deng doubled down on market reforms, but within tight limits. His southern tour in 1992 signaled the commitment to economic change, but under the party's strict supervision. The idea of a socialist market economy emerged, a system where private business thrived, but the state always held the reins. Special economic zones multiplied, and China sped into the global economy. By the early 2000s, the party even welcomed entrepreneurs, ensuring no wealthy group stood outside its grip. China's entry into the World Trade Organization in 2001 catapulted it into global commerce. Foreign investment flooded in. Exports exploded. Coastal cities became economic juggernauts, and the world watched in awe. But beneath the prosperity, attention grew. The party fueled innovation and growth, so long as it did not challenge their rule. As expert Mingxin Pei notes, China's economic success has come at the cost of political freedom. The party prizes control above all else. This is visible in modern tools of social control. Surveillance cameras, artificial intelligence, and the social credit system track nearly every detail of life. Protests are quickly quashed, from the mainland to Hong Kong. Xi Jinping's anti-corruption drive, while popular, also eliminated rivals and cemented central authority. Today, China faces a defining dilemma. Can it keep growing while tightening its grip, or is it building up pressures that could erupt? Scholar Orville Schell warns, the legacy of Tiananmen is a deep fear of instability and an unyielding resolve to maintain control. So, the big question. Has China discovered a new model for superpower status, or is it sitting atop a ticking time bomb? The world is watching. What happens when economic dynamism meets relentless control could shake global markets and geopolitics for years to come. Looking ahead, what are China's possible futures as it balances economic power with strict control? Experts see several scenarios, each with high stakes. Cabestan calls the post-Tiananmen model a double-edged sword. Stability comes, but at a steep cost. How long can this delicate balance last? One scenario is economic slowdown. If debt mounts, trade disputes worsen, or the population shrinks, growth could stall. Factories would close, jobs disappear, and frustration rise among workers and youth. The party's legitimacy is tied to prosperity. If that falters, global markets and supply chains could be shaken. A second path is gradual political reform. Internal pressures like inequality or corruption, or international criticism might push leaders to ease their grip. Local governments might gain more freedom, journalists more leeway, and transparency could grow. This could unleash creativity and new opportunities, but also risk instability. As Mingxin Pei warns, even small reforms could spark demands for much deeper change. A third possibility is deeper technological authoritarianism. China already leads in artificial intelligence and surveillance. As these systems advance, the party could monitor citizens ever more closely. This might deliver stability, but could stifle freedom and innovation. Orville Schell cautions that this approach breeds deeper fears and a determination to control at all costs. There is also the risk of a nationalist turn. If faced with crisis, the party could ramp up patriotic rhetoric, boost military spending, and demand unity. This would squeeze out dissent, chill international ties, and increase the risk of regional conflict. Triggers for these futures are already visible: economic trends, social unrest, tech breakthroughs, and global tension. A new protest movement or economic shock could shake the foundations, or technology could quietly cement control as surveillance grows ever more pervasive. What does this mean for you, the global citizen, the investor, the student? China's direction will shape technology, trade, and security worldwide for decades. Understanding these scenarios lets you read the headlines, spot risks, and protect your privacy. For businesses, changes in China could reshape supply chains and competition overnight. For those who value freedom and innovation, China's journey is both a warning and a lesson about the costs of control. Here are practical takeaways. Stay alert to how new technologies are used by governments. Question claims that promise only stability at the expense of rights. Prepare for global market swings, as China's decisions can ripple worldwide. Remember, big changes often start as small signals, a new policy here, a protest there, before becoming global shocks. In the end, Tiananmen is not just history. It is a living force shaping China's politics, economy, and society. The party has driven growth while crushing dissent. But this model is risky. Prosperity built on tight control may not last. Cracks are appearing, slower growth, youth unemployment, and growing discontent. Will China's leaders open space for reform and creativity? Or will they bet everything on even more surveillance and control? The answer will affect not only China's billion-plus people, but the world. Here's a little-known fact. Even at the peak of China's rise, secret party documents revealed deep anxiety about repeating past mistakes. The shadow of Tiananmen still haunts the leadership. They fear not just chaos, but the unpredictable power of a society hungry for change. So, as you watch the world's second-largest economy, remember, the story is far from over. Which future will emerge? That depends on choices made today by leaders, citizens, and the global community. If you want to stay ahead of the next seismic global shift, subscribe to our channel, share your thoughts below, and hit the bell for more stories about the world's economic and tech transformations. Do you think China's model is sustainable, or are we approaching a new crossroads? Let us know below. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning.